12 noon in Accra, 12 noon in Monrovia, Liberia, 13 hours in Germany, and it's 14 hours in Pretoria, South Africa. Thanks so much. And from the News Hub here at Kanda in Accra, this is the Boxing Day edition of Midday Live. My name is Bright Nanamfo. Now, a look at our top stories. Minority in Parliament demands apology from Israeli ambassador over its description of Ghana's vote at the UN last week as a mistake and warning Ghana not to repeat same. On the international front, Liberia's choosing a new president in a runoff vote between Vice President Joseph Boakai and former international footballer George Weah. If you're watching us from Wa in the Upper West region, if you're watching us from Winneba in the Central region, if you're with us from Accra here, thanks so much for spending your Boxing Day with us on TV3. It is now from 1 p.m. We'll tell you what's happening in Ghana and the rest of the world. Stay with us in the next 1 hour. Thanks so much for your time to our first story. The minority in Parliament is demanding an apology from the Israeli ambassador. This is after it released a statement describing Ghana's vote at the UN, which rejected calls for Israel to move its capital to Jerusalem as a mistake and warning Ghana not to repeat same. A ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee and member of Parliament for the Northton constituency, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, spoke on News at 10 on Monday.
Certainly that language is not diplomatic, it's offensive, and it's an affront to our sovereignty. It was a considered vote. I mean, our government clearly maintained a long-held position that has been the position of successive governments. And the vote by Ghana last week is only consistent with this long-held position. So for the Israeli embassy in Accra to describe the vote as a mistake and even to proceed further and dare Ghana that you do not vote like that again, that the next time this matter comes up, you are cautioned not to vote like that again. I mean, I cannot but agree with everybody who feels affronted, who feels insulted by this statement coming from the Israeli embassy in Accra.
I see. Some have suggested that government take some action against the Israeli embassy. Is that what you would suggest to?
It is a position that we in the minority agree with. We believe that at the very least, our foreign minister, the Honorable Shirley Ayoko Boche, should be summoning the ambassador at the very least. He should be summoned to her office and he should be told in very plain language that you don't come and talk down to us. If you look at the statement that they issued, they are stating that they are a sovereign country and no other country can determine for them, including the United Nations, no other international institution or any country can determine to them what should be their capital, what city should be their capital. And yet in the same breath, you want to dictate to another sovereign country how that country should vote at the United Nations. And then you call our careful, considered vote a mistake. I mean, that's clearly an insult. So at the very least, the ambassador must be summoned. He must be told how Ghanaians are affronted and how we take strong exception to that kind of statement. And he must be made to apologize for those statements.
That was the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament at News at 10 yesterday. Now, to some other stories. Last year, when the U.S. released its Trafficking in Persons 2016 report, Ghana was classified as a Tier 2 watch list country. The 2017 report, released on June 27, however, acknowledges the efforts by the government to act on human trafficking and has been granted a Tier 3 waiver. The government of Ghana did not fully meet the minimum standards for the elimination of trafficking, but made significant efforts to do so. My guest in the studio is the founder of Challenging Heights, James Kofi Annan is here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And how are the children doing?
They're doing very well. Yeah.
2017 has been good for them, I guess.
It's been good for them, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about human trafficking. How would you assess 2016, 2017, our effort at protecting these kids, particularly when we're told that we retained the Tier 2 ranking, avoiding a downgrade to Tier 3 on the USA Trafficking in Persons report?
Yes, what I would say, my first comment would be that Ghana has been lucky, so we've been lucky to have been left off the hook. We could have gone to Tier 3, which would have meant that we would have lost at least $600 million in aid and other grant from the U.S. government. But I think there were some diplomatic discussions that because there was LI, that's legislative instrument passed in 2015, Ghana was seen as making an effort. And we may not be two-time lucky,
right,
I would say, because now that the LI has been passed, the international community is going to look at how we utilizing the LI for the benefit of fighting against human trafficking, and that's where the real test is.
I see. We might have escaped because of the threat issued by perhaps our donor partners. Is that the case?
Yeah, you see, we have not put some money in the human trafficking fund for so many years. Now, all of a sudden, because of the threat, we put some money in the fund. The board had not been functioning for a number of years now. All of a sudden, we saw some movement within the board. Then, this year, we have been able to promulgate National Plan of Action Against Human Trafficking, which is a good step. All these things were done to show the international community that Ghana is making some effort. I must admit that the current minister has done well, but also doing well in support of what Nana Oyelita already did in passing the LI.
Right.
So to get the waiver was somehow predictable because you could see that
we're going to get it
exactly
based on the effort we
have made.
Right.
Now, as I said, we may not be lucky again because now you have all the structures. Exactly. We have all the structures in place. You have the human trafficking unit of the Ghana Police Service, you have the human trafficking secretariats, you have the human trafficking action plan, you have the law, you have all that it takes. There's now a shelter at Medina which has been fenced, which was also another demand that we should at least have shelters in all the regions. We didn't have. Now we have one that is a bit more functioning at Medina. Now, what is the way forward?
Right.
It is the way forward that we are going to be judged by. And remember that Tier 3 means a lot. You know the Millennium Challenge account? That's a lot of money. It has been tied to the human trafficking effort.
So if we lose Tier 3,
we go to Tier 3, then the that Millennium Challenge account is also going to be affected. And so many other aids. So all we need to do is for us as a country to make an effort in protecting our children who are victims of trafficking. It's our own children. It's like your own children. The government is saying, protect your own children. I'll give you all the benefit that I want to give you. Why wouldn't you be happy to do that? So all we need to do is to invest some money into the fight against human trafficking. And then the international community, without any hesitation, will give you all the monies that they promised to give you.
Do you see this being done, investing in protecting these kids and efforts at ensuring that we don't slip? Do you see it being done, a conscious effort being done?
I see a cosmetic effort at addressing human trafficking, which saddens my heart. Because, you see, it's as if everything that is being done is being packaged to please the international community. But that shouldn't be so. We should be seen as making genuine, antagonistic effort towards addressing the issue of trafficking. The reason I'm saying this, and the consequence of that is that next year, because we have been spared, it is likely that we'll feel that, oh, we have arrived. And once you have arrived, what do? You relax. Okay. And that's why we'll be hit in the face. Bam. See? So I think that I wanted to see in the budget substantial amount of money being allocated to the Ministry of Gender and then subsequently to the fight against human trafficking.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see that. And that is a worry to me. I also see a situation where, you see, the American government invested $5 million in the area of human trafficking and wants government of Ghana to counterpart fund it. So the American government money was given to civil society organizations like IOM, Free the Slaves. They are using it. Now the government has put in only 1.5 million Ghana cedis. That means that we were not even able to match 1/4 of what
the counterpart funding.
Counterpart fund. What does it mean to you? And what that 1.5 million was only used for very small things like fencing the Medina shelter and a few things. You're talking about 21,000 children caught up in slavery on Lake Volta alone. We're not talking about even the mining sector, domestic servitude, other areas,
cocoa production areas and all that.
We are only talking about fishing. 21,000. Imagine the rest.
You had challenging heights.
Yes.
Is this fight alone for government?
The fight is not for government alone, I must admit. It's for all of us. You bringing me here is one of your contributions. It's for challenging heights. And this year alone, we have rescued over 50 children. In the last 12 years, we have rescued over 1,600 children. And so many other organizations are also doing the same. So we are all involved. But there is an element of leadership.
That should come from government.
That should come from government. The laws are implemented and enforced by government through its agencies. We are talking about police unit, Ghana Police Human Trafficking Unit.
Unit, right.
For a very long time, they had only one vehicle, the whole Ghana. And that vehicle was hung for many years because they didn't have ties. Recently, through the American government money that I spoke to you about, spoke to you about, they have been allocated more vehicles. You're talking about a whole police unit that isn't having a boat on Lake Volta to make sure that children are not being abused. All these things are things that needs to be provided by government. Look, when we are going to do rescue on the Lake Volta and go with the police, we would have to pay for their transportation, their accommodation, and so on and so forth. It shouldn't be so. It is the government's duty to make sure that the police goes with us to do the rescue. Or even the police take the lead and we support them. When we rescue a child and the case must go to court, if we don't fund that, it will not go to court. If you are going to do investigation on a child that has been abused in so many ways and we don't fund it, the police will not be able to go. It's not the fault of the police. It is unavailable funding.
That is
why.
28, we're beginning to wrap up our conversation. 2018, just about a few days away. Which direction should we go?
I believe that we need government to put in at least 15 million cedis, Ghana cedis, into the human trafficking fund. It's not meant for civil society organizations. It's meant for their own. They should use it in the fight against human trafficking.
Invest in equipment, necessary tools to help the fight.
Buy vehicles for all the regions and some selected districts like Pando, Yeji, Toko, Dambai areas. Buy vehicles for them. Let them operate. Get at least 3 speedboats on Lake Volta, one around Pando areas, one around Krachi, Dambai areas, the other one around Yeji areas to do the work. Make sure that you have equipped the immigration officers who are stationed on the lake to be able to do their work well. And make sure that you publicly denounce human trafficking. Don't wait and then we'll go and do rescue. Then a government official come and say, oh, you are spoiling our image. You are spoiling our image. What image are you spoiling? You have spoiled the image already. So what we are doing is rather helping you. Once we say we are spoiling the government image, it emboldens the traffickers to work or act in impunity, and then we'd rather become demoralized. It shouldn't be so.
James, I'm grateful for your time with us this afternoon. James Kofi Annan is the founder of Challenging Heights, and once again wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Now, in other stories, the plight of the Catholic hospital in Bato in the Volta region continues to worsen as the number of babies born prematurely may die because of lack of baby-friendly equipment. The facility has struggled to acquire the equipment.
Beautiful on the outside, but the inside is deplorable. 200 deliveries are recorded every month. But the facility has only 2 incubators. These were donated to the hospital by Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, MP for Notong, after several lamentations from officials and mothers. To make up for the number of incubators, the facility improvises.
We improvise onion bulbs, which I had designed in a table, resuscitation table form, and we put them under. And we have something like a warmer. It's like a hot water bottle type of warmer, which we plug. But it's only one. And it's not, it's not enough again. So when that happens, then that poor baby will end up with just blankets. And hypothermia is a major cause of mortality in our preterms.
The hospital has no kangaroo mother care area to protect preterm babies. The children's ward is also not child-friendly. Philanthropists keep the facility running, but this is not enough.
A friend of mine mentioned it to me that Bata Hospital needs help. And when I came here, I realized that he even underestimated what they really need. You realize that till Honorable Kucheto came here, they gave them 2 incubators. They didn't have anything, and they have to improvise, meaning that a child could easily die.
The hospital has only 1 pediatrician taking care of all complicated cases in the catchment area. The hospital lacks beds. Mothers sleep on the bare floor, either on a mat or cloth. Washrooms are in a very bad state. The toilet facility has to be used for weeks before it can be flushed. Patients risk infections. To attract support, the medical officer in charge organizes get-togethers. She was worried the increasing number of preterm babies at the hospital calls for a major push to reduce deaths if Ghana wants to reach the global goal to end all preventable newborn and child deaths by 2030.
Until you are 10, your lungs are not, or 34 completed weeks for that matter, your lungs are not fully matured. So, that is a problem by itself with the preterm. And then their subcutaneous tissue is also not enough. So they can easily get cold, and that cold can kill them.
This is a Boxing Day edition of Midday Live. In other stories, Venice is struggling through her education with a deformity that started when she was 9 years old. After virtually lying down to write her BEC, her problems at the senior high school level seemed to have worsened. She struggles to sit through lessons.
I think she's not fit as such at this moment to be in the boarding house because she cannot fetch water on her own, go to the bathhouse, carry the water and go and bath, wash her things. Even at the dining hall, the rate at which she can eat is rather different from what the friends can do.
This nearly threw Venice out of the boarding house, and this would have meant her dropping out. She lives some kilometers away from Adaklu Waya, the capital of the Adaklu district. Her admission at the Adaklu Senior High School has saved her education. Her condition has not deterred her from helping her family. I met her at home doing house chores despite her disability. Her condition is bad. She can hardly sleep well at night. Doctors at the Focus Orthopedic Hospital in Accra say she needs 95,000 cedis to undergo surgery. Her family can't afford it. They are peasant farmers. Bubbly and hard-working at school, she has many friends who support her. She can't do a lot of things on her own. A brilliant student, learning is a difficulty due to this. The school didn't want to admit her to the boarding house due to her condition.
Venice, what do you know about this topic, self-identity?
Self-identity is the state of a complete talent, social and
Yeah, you're on course. Continue.
She struggles to sit through lessons. Surgery at a cost of 95,000 cedis will enable her live a normal life and complete school. Though she takes part in school activities, it is with difficulty due to her condition, and she easily gets tired. Bennett needs help. Doctors say she can live a normal life if the money is raised. Her family appeals to individuals and organizations to come to her aid. Contact the 3 Foundation if you want to help Bennett. Help save Bennett's education. We're pleading with you to help save Bennett in the Volta region there. Now, we're staying in that region because the Volta Region Peace Council has called on the people of Xavier to exercise restraint and withdraw the 14-day ultimatum on George Komla Akoli's disappearance. The people of Xavier were up in arms against what they perceived an act of insensitivity on the part of state security.
There has been an easy calm in Xavier following the disappearance of a 62-year-old man on November 25 at Alavanyo Peme. The man, George Komla Akoli, was part of a number of guests at the 2017 annual Asadu Festival when the unfortunate incident happened. A male reportedly called the missing George's relative and identified himself as Lucifer from Nkunya. The voice reportedly told the one who received the call that he had captured and killed George. The security agencies were informed, but after a month without any news on the missing George, the people of Xavier began to agitate. They held a demonstration demanding results from the search of the security to be made public within 14 days, else they will seek revenge. They also accused the people of Nkonya of attempting to draw them into the nearly 100 years conflict with Alavanyo. But the Volta Regional Peace Council, though sharing the concern of the people of Xavier, called for restraint to allow the security to complete their mandate.
2 wrongs will never do anything right. Therefore, they should never take the law into their hands. They should allow the law agencies to work to unearth everything. And therefore, they must continue to pray. And I believe that at the end of the day, the truth will surely come.
The spokesperson for Xavier, Thomas Danjou, commended members of the Peace Council for their concern, saying the visit signifies that government is listening to their cry and pledged to rescind their decision to wage war.
It's my intention to meet my people again and reassure them that with the presence of the Peace Council and the discussions I had with the Regional Police Command yesterday, I'm very positive that everything is being done to ensure that George is found and peace will prevail at the end of the day.
Members of the Peace Council later visited the family to sympathize with them. Xavier is one of the 4 Asadu communities made of Xavier, Alavanyo and Akrofu.
That report from the Volta region. This is Midday Live, the Boxing Day edition. In other stories, the Ghana Police Service has begun piloting an e-policing service within the Accra and Tema regions to help improve efficiency and daily monitoring. The wholly homegrown technology was developed by Vast Intel Stratum and the University of Ghana and is in response to the Ghana Police's transformation agenda.
The Ghana Police Service, in its quest to become a world-class police organization, recognized ICT as the pivot around which all other reforms will revolve. Digitization and automating the entire workflow process of policing has therefore become paramount, hence the e-policing project. It includes automation of the point of lodging complaint at the charge office, referral of cases to investigators, building a docket, referral of cases for prosecution, automation of cell books, register of offences, station diary, and other related activities.
The system will facilitate supervision, personnel management, and other activities right from the station level to the regional headquarters, and also easy generation of crime statistics for effective analysis and interpretation.
The project, currently on pilot in 26 stations and districts within the Accra and Tema regions, became possible through implementing partners, VAS Intel, Stratum, and the University of Ghana.
9 months ago, we proposed developing a homegrown, tailor-made e-police solution in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, in which we would digitalize all the paper forms and processes. We were enthused to find a synergy with the Ghana Police Agenda and the Transformation Initiative.
The device at the charge office, apart from the entries of complaint, also captures the fingerprints and photographs of suspects. The system also allows investigators to generate crime reports and related data, and every input data is accessible by the IGP and all relevant supervising officers.
As the police undergoes a revolution in its operations, it is the wish of the police administration that Ghana becomes more peaceful as we progress into the future. May we appease our partners who have invested so much in our capacity building by delivering better and improved services.
Another significant feature of the new system is that it has its own dedicated network system that is operational in every corner of the country. The system can also be customized to specification, including mail alerts and SMS alerts to users to prompt them when away from the police stations. The piloting will run alongside existing traditional methods until the old system is finally phased out. The e-policing is expected to be rolled out nationwide by 2020.
The Ghana Police Service struggling to achieve efficiency in the operations. They'll tell you more about the Ghana Police Service because some individuals have attacked the Member of Parliament for the Esunafo South constituency, Eric Opoku, on Monday morning, December 25. The Kukum District Police Commander, DSP Robert Kwesi Boache, confirmed the news early on News 360.
The Honorable Member for Esunafo South, Mr. Eric Opoku, was attacked at his residence today around 11:30 a.m. Two cases and a saloon sibling. At the end of his residence was vandalized. The front and rear windscreens and side glasses were smashed. After that, the thugs entered his residence and then tried to cause damage to his private vehicle, a Land Cruiser. They could not cause any extensive damage anyway, but they managed to smash the side driving mirror, the passenger side. They smashed that one and tried to cutlass the bonnet. In fact, because the body was very hard, they couldn't make any extensive cut into it. We have just started investigations into it. We are gathering information as to who were the people.
In other news, medical practitioners at public hospitals have been urged not to charge victims of domestic violence when they report for medical services with police forms. This is because, in line with the Domestic Violence Act 732/2007, victims of domestic violence may or must not be treated for free.
Section 8, subsection 3 of the Domestic Violence Act 2007, Act 732, stipulates that a victim of domestic violence who is assisted by the police to obtain medical treatment under Section 1C is entitled to free medical treatment from the state. Police assistance to a victim under subsection 1C consists of issuing a medical form to the victim and, where necessary, accompany the victim to the medical facility. Even in emergency or life-threatening situations, the law again stipulates that a victim of domestic violence may receive free medical treatment pending the complaint to the police and the issuance of report. But this is not the case. Victims are charged up to 200 cedis and more even at the police hospital. These charges, according to reports, are in lieu of a possible cost of traveling to give evidence in court. But stakeholders meeting to validate sexual and gender-based violence protocol and codified handbook in Accra disagreed with the prevailing situation.
Collecting money from victims or victims paying money because they are given medical treatment has been addressed by domestic violence law. The state will have to pay for whatever cost there is. So it is not for the victim to pay any money to any doctor.
So if a doctor says that no, it is stated on the medical form that they have to pay money, the law says that no. So what the law says is what the medical doctors, in my view, should work with, that victims of domestic violence are entitled to free medical care.
The meeting was organized by the Police Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOVSU, with support from the UNFP.
It is not the victim who is supposed to pay. It is the police officer who is supposed to pay. But here we are, we all know the bottlenecks when it comes to taking a victim to the hospital and going through the process. I think we have to reconsider this particular aspect.
The protocol and codified handbook will, among others, enhance the knowledge of officers who handle sexual and gender-based violence cases on the laws, code of conduct, and pre-investigation procedures. It is also to guide crime scene management and exhibits, building a case docket and court processes.
Help save victims of domestic violence. This is Midday Live, the Boxing Day edition. We're taking a break, and we'll come back. There's more. Welcome back. In Boxing Day business, the director of operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, says the real sector of the economy has been under pressure this year. This he attributed to deliberate attempt by the managers of the economy in contracting demand in order to hold down macroeconomic indicators like inflation and exchange rates.
The economic fundamentals are still weak. There is the need to invest in the part of the economy that is concerned with actually producing goods and services, as opposed to the part of the economy that is concerned with buying and selling on the financial markets. The real sectors of the economy, such as agriculture and manufacturing, are critical for economic growth. Director of Operations at Dalex Finance, Joe Jackson, indicated cash flow has been a challenge this year.
The prospect is not easing up. The managers of the economy are deliberately contracting demand in order to hold down exchange rates stable, mop up excess funds, bring down interest rates. On one hand, the macroeconomic numbers are looking good. On the other hand, the real economy is also going through some amount of readjustment and pain.
He was of the view the optimism and increase in business confidence seems to have a positive impact.
In the third quarter of this year, the country grew by 9.3%. The government has not paid all the contractors, so there's a tight money effect. The ESLA bond has come, and the bond has given some amount of relief to the banks and other financial institutions. The real sector is still under pressure, but the CD has been stable. Interest rates still are coming down.
The way forward is for government to make sure macroeconomic variables are in place.
We've got to make sure that if we are investing, it goes into the right place. The fundamental policies look good if we can execute. One district, one factory is great if we can execute. what excites me is the fact that this country is now going to make a concerted effort to move away from rain-fed agric to irrigation.
The industry continues to record low penetration with less than 2% contribution to the country's gross domestic product. But the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group is poised to help improve the current figure to about 5% by 2025. The chairman of the group, Wilson Kwotete, says efforts are being made to increase insurance penetration by boosting public confidence on insurance packages.
Speaking at the Maiden Insurance Agents Capacity Building Workshop in Kumasi, Wilson Kwotete identified insurance as one of the key tools to remedy financial problems. He, however, said the lack of understanding of insurance policies and clarity are reasons why the public does not trust insurance companies.
We expect is that the public will begin to understand and to know that insurance is a tool to remedy financial problems that arise.
He stressed on the need to build the capacity of insurance agents to enhance product development, delivery channels, and sales and customer satisfaction.
This is actually the implementation of things that need to be done to try and whip up the knowledge of insurance and so therefore also consumption of insurance products.
The capacity building training workshop organized by GIZ was to improve the insurance skills and selling strategies of the agents.
That's it for business. We're taking a break. When we'll come back, we have sports.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Yao Fusulami. It's time to do sports now. And the Black Queens of Merry Christmas, and thanks for staying with us here on Midday Live here on TV3. We take our first story where is the latest update on the Kotoko striker Sadiq Adams, who sustained a career-threatening injury during the Ghana 60th anniversary second leg match against Accra Hearts-of-Oak at the Babaya Stadium on Sunday. The hat-trick hero in the FA Cup is on the table and responding to treatments. The news will serve as a major boost for the club, with Adams taking to Twitter to thank God for his life and assured fans that he will come back stronger. Now, Kumasi Asante Kotoko also tweeted that they are glad to announce that Sadiq Adams is in good condition and still responding to treatments at the emergency ward of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and prayers and thoughts are with him. He will be allowed to take some rest before joining his teammates at training to prepare for the Galka G8 competition. Now on to our next story, and the Black Queens will play in the inaugural Wafu Zone B Women's Nations Cup next month in Ivory Coast, according to the Queens Management Committee. The 8-team tournament will also include Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, Senegal, and Niger. Ivory Coast, the host country, have been seeded in Group A, and with Nigeria and the continent's leading ranked team in the FIFA ranking will also be in Group B. Now, the draw for the tournament will take place on January 9 in Abidjan. But so there are always Boxing Day fixtures there in the English Premier League, and let's look at what we have today there. And Tottenham Hotspur and Southampton have already started, still 0-0 in that game. There will be Bournemouth against West Ham. Chelsea will take on Brighton at Stamford Bridge. Huddersfield will also take on Stoke City. Manchester United will welcome Burnley to the Old Trafford Stadium. And let's look at the other half of the table, where Watford will take on Leicester. West Bromwich Albion will take on Everton. Liverpool will also face Swansea. And Wednesday, December 27, we'll have Newcastle against Man City. And on Thursday, there's Crystal Palace against Arsenal. That's how we end the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Yao Fosulabi. There'll be more sports news later. Over to you, Bright.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Liverpool-Swansea match. I hope you are also looking up to that match too. Now, let's touch on some local issues. Electrical fault, we're told, have been cited as a major cause of fire outbreaks in the country. The Ghana Standards Authority is estimating that 80% of electrical cables on the Ghanaian market are fake. We're told that between 24th December and today, Accra has recorded about 51 fire outbreaks. Let's quickly take a look at exactly how we can stop this. Prince Biliana Glate is a public relations officer of the Ghana National Fire Service. And he's with me here in the studio, spending his Boxing Day here. Billy, good afternoon. Merry Christmas.
Many happy returns.
So 51, is it Accra alone?
No, nationwide.
Nationwide,
yes.
51 fires
Exactly.
between 24, that's just about 2 days. This should be very worrying to us.
Exactly. And if you look at the causes of those fires, mainly on electrical faults and situation, it depended on old electrical issues that people do not change. Because if you listen to our education, fire education before even the Hamatan, we were talking about people changing their electrical installations in their premises. And the other one that we also investigated, we saw that they were, badly used. People wrongly use their electrical gadgets, overloading of some of them, leaving some of them unattended when they are working. We have also said in our education that this is the period that people should not overload their switches and sockets, because we have experience has taught us that within this period there is always power, fluctuation. There are times that there is upsurge in the current that flow in. So if you have overloaded your switches or your socket already, before there is a little upsurge, it's enough to blow off your system.
And set fire.
Yes, exactly. That was the aspect of those that we've seen. And they also saw that some of the people, they also have done wrong electrical installation by extending electricity from one point to the other. Wrongly done has also caused some.
Meaning that they would have used non-professionals to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Most of those ones, they saw that, yes, the electrical installations were wrongly done. So that has caused.
So the cable issue, how do we deal with it? The Sons Authority is talking about, but is it beyond our reach to stop it?
No, I don't think so. What I keep saying is that those of us who patronize those cables, we also have a very big role to play if really, indeed, we want to prevent that. Because I've been saying that those that are selling it are so, sincere to us that you get in there, you are told that this is a substandard electrical, wires, switches, and sockets in the market. And then they also show you the standard one. And then we settle on the substandard one, maybe because of cost.
The cost.
Yes, it's lesser than that of the original one that we talk about. Forgetting that as we are picking that into our home, that could raise down the whole premises that we have. It's on record that there are some new premises that people are even yet to move in. Has been on fire. Investigation proved that it was just the substandard cable that they have. What it is that, like I was talking about, upsurge in electrical cable. If it happens, they are not able to withstand the current inflow. We all know current flowing through a resistor produces heat. So if the inflow becomes high, so it gives more heat within, and then the insulations are not able to withstand it, and that has resulted in many.
Quickly on this one, your men were around some parts of Osu inspecting fire certificates, and this issue of inspecting homes for fire certificates and perhaps these cables, how key is the fire service focusing on?
Yes, exactly. Like you rightly stated, 24th nights, I was part of the team. We were moving to the nightclubs, the pubs, those entertainment places, the places of gathering in the night. That is the period that you see a lot of people getting in there, and their activities have always been a very good recipe for fire outbreak. So we move in. We move to a lot of those nightclubs and pubs to see what exactly the situation is. Those that we need to talk to them and indicate them, we did that. Yes, our inspection, it cut across every area. It's just that we are hoping next year we'll move into the homes. Yes, it was just November last year when we have the amendment on our LI 1724. Now we have LI 2249, which has made it obligatory that people living in their homes or owners of those premises should have fire certificate. We've used this year to educate people. We are saying that next year we'll move into homes, have a risk assessment and determine the level of risks. Then we'll spell out what remedy or facilities that you need to put in there. So our main role is to ensure that we prevent all this. But you agree with me that the fire service alone will not be able to do it. So individual. So we are even educating people before these holidays that offices are the very areas that we will normally have fire outbreaks within the holiday period.
Because they are out of the office.
Yeah, so they don't turn on all those electrical gadgets. So we within this period, we are yet to experience one, but we are hoping it will not happen. So we hope the education has gone down with people.
He's the public relations officer of the Ghana National Fire. He's here on Saturday on Midday Live to talk more about fire and what 2018 holds for the fire service and in the area of preventing fire. Billy, once again, grateful for your time and Merry Christmas once again. Now, time to hit the international front. Liberians are choosing a new president in a round of vote between Vice President Joseph Boakai and former international footballer George Weah. More than 2 million people are eligible to cast their ballot. Weah, who is 51, won the first round but did not secure the required 50% of the vote for an outright victory. Weah, the former World Footballer of the Year, is hoping for the third time to be lucky. Boakai is 73. He's been the Liberian vice president for the past 12 years. Right, time now for entertainment. Well, it's Christmas and some musicians have been sharing their Xmas wishes with TV3 Entertainment. Let's listen to them. All right, we'll bring you that later on. They've been talking about exactly what is in store for them. But let's step on the break, and when we come back, there's more.
Our 6th movie in the 12 Days of Christmas movies.
Candace Cameron Bure is heading home for the holidays.
I'll call you back as soon as I check in.
Her love life was taking off.
I think I'm in 15A.
Of course you are. But fate
All flights canceled.
What?
took a detour.
You!
We're sharing a room.
They're adjoining rooms.
Are you on the plane yet?
I'm still in Buffalo.
Christmas Eve, right? And anything can happen. Candace Cameron Bure. Are we soulmates?
I don't know.
A Christmas Detour, showing this Tuesday, 26th December at 4 p.m. only on TV3.
We're still staying with entertainment because merrymakers will undoubtedly have a lot of songs to party with as many pleasurable activities line up for them. Usuwara has been finding out which is your official song for a Christmas.
Very good bad guy. Would you be girl on it? Would you be girl on it?
Also, Xmas is noted for its interesting music and entertainment lineup, and certainly this year's will not be any different. Pubs and many homes will come alive this Xmas, but we're asking, which song will you be partying to this festive season?
Ebony Mediudra. Mediwo, Mediudra. Obi Medimio.
Which song are you tipping as your official Xmas song?
Ebony. Mundimio, Mundimija, and boy.
Miwano, Sigami Bay, Embano, Mundimio,
Mundimio, Mundimija. Kwame Eugene, Angela.
Kwame Eugene. That's Angela.
Anywhere you there, I go there.
My Sherry Coco, my one and only.
Baby, can you want, I go hustle you.
Baby, take my hand, baby, carry go. If you think I go leave you, God forbid, yeah.
Whenever you hear the song, it's like you're just happy. You understand? So I always do an acapella for my girlfriend whenever I see her. You understand? Everywhere you there, I go there. My Sherry Coco, my one and only. If you be car you want, I go by you. You know. Baby, take my hand and we carry go.
Man's Not Hot by Big Shaq.
Man's Not Hot. Yeah, Big Shaq, 2017, South London.
Man's not hot. Never hot.
Boom. Let's get a line or two of that. Let's
Skirpa. I tell a man's not hot. I don't even know the lyrics.
The thing goes skitty kick and the pop boom boom skia boom. You don't know.
Boss man, I like Ebony. I like Mami Show. I like that track here. However, I think that yeah, brother, yeah, giant brother, hey, oh, yeah, brother, hey, that tune, man, that tune, that's it for me, man. Personally, I say that's the tune. That's the one and only, man.
And then Friday, oh, you will confirm me,
Kofi Kinata, Marble. We do girl, hey, we do girl,
Satawale. We'll go for Shatawale or for this Christmas.
I think it's Ebony.
Freedom, Shatawale, freedom.
Shut up. Freedom.
I curse the day I found you, girl.
You are cursing the day you found her.
Seriously?
No, but in a song he says, I bless the day I found her.
Sorry, I bless, right? I bless that day.
Ebony, large up, Ebony. I don't know how to sing, but me love it. So please, Ghana, forgive me. Mundi mio, mundi mugwa. Mundi mio, mundi mugwa. I love the music, TV3. I love you. What?
Heba, Danny Beat. I've been hustling in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening.
Right, and certainly we'll love you too, you our viewers out there. For me, I've been singing Ebony's song throughout. Meduja, it's been all throughout. And the other one, Mamishe, very exciting. That's my Christmas, official Christmas song. So we're grateful that you spent the 1 hour with us. The news team is back at 7 p.m. with all the latest from the world of news. Thanks so much for your time. The show was put together by Isaac Ameko. My name is Bright, and have a good afternoon and enjoy the Boxing League.
La